Hello friends, and welcome to today's video where we're going to talk about Boy Next Door's Who album, but first, I want to complain about something stupid, which is that this group name, Boy Next Door, I've been thinking it was Boys Next Door for the however long it's been since they announced it. I think I figured this out today or like last night, that it was simply the singular Boy Next Door, which is weird, because there's multiple, I don't know, maybe it's just a me thing. Like, it does in theory make sense, but also, like, I feel like Boys Next Door would have been a better group name. That's not important. We're here to talk about the actual album. So, just to go over how this is going to work, I'm going to run through the track list, give you my thoughts on each song, and then give the album a score out of 10 at the end. However, I do have some disclaimers before we continue. Disclaimer number 1. In spite of the various release dates of these songs, let's just say I've heard them all on average 3 times, okay? Like, I think that's the median amount. That's the mean. So we're going to say I've heard them a handful of times, and my opinions on each and every one of them very much may change over time. Second disclaimer is my standard one. Everything I say in this video is just my opinion. You do not have to agree with my opinion because, as the mug always says, music is subjective, and that is great. Alrighty, now that we have all of that out of the way, we can get started. And first up, we have the first pre-release and also technically my favorite song, which is But I Like You, and it's pretty good. It's not the best song I've ever heard, but it is fun, and I can be here for a fun song. Like, the verses are solid. The pre-chorus is kind of just there. I won't deny that. The pre-chorus doesn't do much for me, but the chorus itself is great. It's just fun. Like, I don't know what else to tell you, and by that I mean I literally have nothing else to tell you about this song, so we're gonna move on. Next up, we have the pre-release, One and Only, and this is the only song on the album actually produced by Zico, and you can tell because I feel like this is the closest to what I had in mind when I envisioned this group. But let's actually discuss the song now. It's fine. I didn't mind listening to it. I actually did enjoy most of it. The verses are quite good, and the pre-chorus is great. No complaints for any of those. My complaint is mostly with the chorus, which is that right now, okay, like in the modern day, I don't mind this chorus. However, there are 2 branches of the future, okay? There's one branch where I hate this chorus. I can see myself hating this chorus. I can see it getting very annoying very quickly. The other branch, I can see myself loving this chorus. So I feel like I need to give this song a few more listens to really flush out my emotions on it and then reevaluate. But as of right now, I'm going to say that it's fine and we'll see in the future. Last but not least, we have what I assume to be the official debut title, Serenade, and I'm very unsure how to feel about this song because there were parts of it I did enjoy, obviously, but then there were other parts that I really didn't like. First, we're going to start with the positives, though. Verses, very good. Very much a fan. Pre-chorus, the second half, slaps. Love it. And the bridge is very pretty. Now for what I didn't like. First half of the pre-chorus, not a fan. Didn't like that. Also, the weird constant howling they do throughout the song made me feel like I was in an ABO fic, and not a fun one. Plus, the chorus itself had this almost soulless vibe to it. It was very much giving New Jeans' debut album, which I consider one of the most soulless albums of all time. And the difference is, this is like a very much upbeat and fun song in theory, and the lack of like emotion behind it gives me the sense of cognitive dissonance. Big picture, viewing this as their official debut, it's not the worst debut song I've ever heard, not from a hype group, not even close to from a boy group. Like, God even knows what the boy groups nowadays are debuting with. But it's also not even close to the best debut song I've ever heard, even in, like, recent times. Like, I would say The Wind has a better debut song. So, like, it's also not doing much. Like, it's not an ideal debut song, but it's also not the worst I've ever heard. Okay, score time. Overall, I'm giving this album an 8.5 out of 10. The album itself, it's fine. No song was bad. Standard 8.5 out of 10. But I do have some thoughts and I have some questions that I want addressed. First, I thought the whole, like, appeal of this group was that it was Zico produced, or at the very least, if I was in charge of the marketing for this group, I would have marketed it as a Zico produced group. And Zico only worked on one song, which I feel like was a choice. Like, you could have had him, like, try and help with the other 2 just to say he worked on all of them. Like, I get he's probably busy, but I feel like he could have done, like, a little bit of work, like, enough that you could realistically add into the tracks, and that, it's just a choice. A choice was made. The second thing is more of an overarching issue, really, which is just that they took the KOZ label, they took Zico's label, and just gave us a basic pop group, which feels like a waste, because they could have taken that label, like, taken that opportunity, and done so much more with it. Like, they really could have given us the next Block B, or at least a group that could have, in theory, rivaled Stray Kids for that concept of, like, rap K-pop supremacy. And instead, they basically just gave us an indistinguishable group from Tookstar and Hypen. Like, there's nothing that is unique about this group that makes them special from really any other group, even like, under Hype. Like, there's nothing unique there, and it just feels like such a wasted opportunity. Like, I'm no marketing expert, I am aware, but if I was in charge of this label and I was in charge of this group's debut, I would have done everything differently. I would have made it more of a rap group. I would have had Zico working on every track. I would have just done so much. Like, at the end of the day, this group could have debuted under Big Hit Music and nothing would have changed. Anyway, I'm done complaining now, but thank you so much for watching. Feel free to comment your thoughts on this album down below. Let me know which song is your favorite. You can also like and subscribe if you want to or don't. I will be okay either way. And if you want to hear more from me, you can follow me on Twitter at @_Almoreviews. I'll link that in the description. And yeah, thank you again for watching. Bye!